Look at yourself in the mirror. Now, rewind. Go back a couple of years, a couple more. Good. Now a little bit more. And stop. You see yourself all the way back to when you were 6. Would you believe me if I told you that the little kid in front of you has a much better chance of becoming unglaublich rich than you do? If you could go back in time and live your life all over again, knowing everything you know now, you'd probably have a good chance of making it to the Forbes 500 list of richest people. From the time he was 6 years old and sold his first pack of gum to the time he was 16 years old and bought his first piece of land, Warren Buffett made an amazing $53,000. He also didn't do anything crazy or difficult. He didn't use complicated math or buy Bitcoin. He also didn't have a degree in business or take any sales classes. He just did what I call the Warren Buffett creed. During his work, he didn't change the principles of his creed either. It's like he lived his life, realized he could have done better, and hit the rewind button. He went back in time about 70 years and used what he had learned. If this had really happened, it's easy to see why he would think he had it easy. Really, if you had a second chance at life when you were 80, you'd have to work really hard not to be rich. Warren didn't really move through time, but he did the next best thing. He used what his teachers taught him and their experience. As soon as possible, he learned everything he could from the people around him and put it to use. If something worked, he wouldn't change it. If it didn't, he would fix it. A few patterns quickly become clear when you look at Warren's investment strategies, personality, life story, and theory on life. It's clear that he religiously follows a creed of 5 tenets, and that all of his business choices are based on these rules. There's nothing really new about the Warren Buffett creed. It's the same rules that his very successful financial mentor Benjamin Graham followed, as well as rules that George Soros and Charles Schwab follow. And these are the same ideas that helped your very wealthy uncle get rich. The facts are true for everyone, but sometimes you can only learn them through hard experience. So, here are the tenets of the Warren Buffett creed. Number 1, pay yourself first. I know it's a tired saying, but hear me out. There's a lot of truth in common sense that gets overused. Warren Buffett doesn't give his money to other people before he spends it on himself. Warren didn't buy lots of expensive things with the money he earned, even when he was 8 years old. Instead, he put it into investments that would pay off later. When you earn $1, the first person you pay is you, says David Bach, author of The Automatic Millionaire. Walmart, the bank, the renter, and the insurance company are the first places most people pay. Then, they put the money they still have to work. The only trouble is that there's not much left most of the time. Parkinson's law says that expenses always rise to meet income. This means that as your income rises, so will your costs of living. In a strange way, the only way to fight Parkinson's law is to pay yourself first and lower your income. When I get paid, the first thing I do is put the money into my savings account to pay myself. I can't always buy the new clothes I need or get the loan I'm eligible for a new car, but it also means I never have to work without getting paid, which is something a lot of people do. Number 2, let your money work for you. Warren Buffett was very successful because he paid himself first and then used the money he had left over to make more money. Warren did not put his money in a low-interest bank account or a bucket under his bed full of bills. Instead, he invested it. Charles Schwab and your rich uncle also didn't do nothing with their money. The process that turned Warren Buffett's net worth from $53,000 to $80.2 billion is the same when you look for places to invest your money that will make you money. Building up, the earnings from an object like capital gains or interest are reinvested to make more earnings over time. This is called compounding. It's the secret sauce for making money. The only thing that counts is that you put your money somewhere where it can grow. This could be in real estate, stocks, or your own business. Number 3, safety of principle and the margin of safety. My grandpa told me one of the best things I've ever learned. Money is round, it rolls, he said. It rolls away from you, not toward you when you're on top of the hill. It's true that money does disappear quickly. Someone else will be able to take your money like water runs through sand if you don't protect it very carefully. To protect your money, you should do things things like get multiple quotes from plumbers to make sure you don't get ripped off, watch movies to make sure you don't get ripped off, and avoid getting sucked into tempting get-rich-quick schemes. Always be on the lookout for places where money starts to slip away from you. A principal idea called safety of principle is the most useful way to use this premise in real life. Let me explain. Let's say you find $10,000 that was a gift from your wealthy uncle. You've always had this big plan but have never run a business. You decide to put $5,000 into advertising and $5,000 into getting the things you need to make your products. If people don't already want your product or have business experience, there's a good chance you won't make any money at all. Please understand that I'm not telling you not to start a business. Don't start a business if you haven't done enough study or have experience in the field first. Also, don't risk a huge amount of money that you probably won't see again anytime soon. The $10,000 you borrowed is not secured in any way. It would have been the same if you bought Bitcoin in December 2018 when the bubble burst. You were taking a chance with your money because there was no sense of safety. Another thing to think about is buying Coca-Cola shares in December 2018. The value would have dropped a lot between then and the middle of 2019, but I wouldn't have been at all worried. In fact, in March 2019, I would have bought even more shares. Why? Because Coca-Cola stock is backed by the value of a profitable, well-run business with good growth prospects, strong management, and a big edge over its competitors. In the long run, our principle is not going to be in danger. In fact, that's why Warren Buffett loves Coca-Cola stock. He shares his risk to protect his capital even more, though, by not putting all of his money into Coca-Cola. Becoming rich isn't difficult, but it requires more discipline and patience than most people have. It requires a mix of hard work, diligence, frugality, financial education, and principle-based decision-making.